Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. In today's Brother ScanNCut tips and tricks video, I'm going to show you how to cut out stamped images. And the stamped images we're going to be cutting out are from the stamp set called Wonderful Romance by Stampin Up. And I'm doing this tutorial right now because this is only available for about 8 more days. Well, it's May 25th, so how many days is that? 6, 7, 8, 9 more days until June 3rd. And that's when our Occasions Catalog 2019 will be retiring. And some of these products in our Occasions Catalog have carried over to our annual catalog, but many have not, including this stamp set here. And stick around, of course, my diehard viewers know this already, but I will show you projects that I've created using the stamp set. So prior to this tutorial, I have stamped these images. They're really nice, easy images to cut out. Sometimes though, there is a little trick to it, and sometimes they don't all get recognized right away. So without rehearsing this, I have cut these out many times, but without knowing what my ScanNCut is going to do today, I'll just kind of go over what I think will happen and then what I will do if it doesn't happen. So for example, I'm going to scan this in black and white recognition mode. And yes, the Brother ScanNCut will recognize it, and it'll cut it out with a nice outline distance, and everybody will be happy. However, sometimes these little flourishes don't get recognized, in which case I'm going to take my handy pencil and we're going to trace around it to make it get recognized. And if all else fails, we will go into color recognition mode. So those are the 3 things I always go. I always go through this order of trying first in black and white recognition mode just to see if it'll work, and then I try my pencil trick, and then I will try my color recognition trick. Hopefully I don't need all the tricks I have up my sleeve, and neither will you, because this will just cut out like it usually does. But you never know, because every machine has a personality, and every day my machine acts differently. So I've stamped these images in Memento black ink onto Whisper white cardstock. I've placed them onto my cutting mat. I'm using a ScanNCut 2 or CM350. I'm putting one hand on the mat like this, and then I'm going to load the mat. Okay, let me turn my camera up. I just got done aligning my blade here. Let's go home. I'm going to hit the home button. Go back. I have to just go to home. Okay, when you turn on your machine, you're going to see this. I'm putting one hand on my mat. I'm going to load the mat like that. Okay, now I'm going to just go ahead and scan and see what happens. Direct cut. We want direct cut because I'm directly cutting out these images. I'm not going to save them. I just want to cut out the stamped images. We're going to temporarily store what we cut out on this machine, although you won't actually see it being stored. It's just a temporary storage spot. So I'm selecting the machine. I want black and white recognition mode because that is what always works with this stamp set. However, you never know. That's why I did this little introduction, because sometimes I have to use tricks to get things to scan in. See if it's one of those days. Also, where you place your images on the mat matters. So if you don't have success on one part of the mat, move your stamped images to another part of the mat, and they will be recognized in a different way, for better or for worse. Okay, let's say okay and see what happened. And see, this is what I mean. So let's just go ahead and cut out the ones that worked, and we'll get that far in life. Okay, so we're going to go, and I'm going to select this part of the image. I'm going to go ahead and put an outline distance around them. Let me show you what that will look like with some of the ones I've already colored. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put an outline distance around them of 0.04. Okay, and now that's what we're going to get. This is what we're going to get. We're going to get the leaves to cut out, and some of those little flowers. And I want to ignore these parts over there. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of them instead of ignoring, because if I hit ignore object size, I might end up ignoring my little flowers over here too. So I'd rather, instead of ignoring object size, I'm just going to go ahead and say okay. And we've already put the outline distance. Okay, we've done that. Let's say okay. And when I'm going to go into editing mode, which is this mode here with the shapes, and I'm going to trash the parts I don't want. I want that. That's a little flower. I don't want this because it's part of that flourish that I'm going to help you troubleshoot, because it's the day that it's not going to do it for me. Okay, we're going to say okay. And now I have just the single flowers. Let me zoom in and show you. I have these leaves. Okay, so they're going to come out like this after we color them. And then we have these flowers. And then these big flourishes didn't recognize, but that's okay. I'm going to say okay. And I'm going to cut what we have here. So let's put it at a blade depth. It's whisper white cardstock. So, you know, a blade depth of 4 is fine for regular whisper white cardstock, or 5 at the most if you're using regular whisper white cardstock. So I'd say for regular whisper white, just a blade depth of 4. Okay, we're going to say cut, because you could cut or draw. So that's why you always have to have the choice of cutting or drawing. But when you draw, I have I have several tutorials on how to do that. Okay, so it's going to take 2 minutes. I'm going to stop the video so it's not so loud, and I'm going to come back in 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. It's finished cutting. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to unload the mat. And okay, now this is now what we're going to do. So we're going to take these off, because we're going to like celebrate our successes. That's the way you have to like think about with the ScanNCut. Celebrate your success and get the ones that you can off the mat. And then you have some done, and then you have to work on the others. So that's why I actually put this one into a tips and tricks video, because I knew that was going to probably involve some tricks, but you just never know. Okay, so these came out nice. They're easy to color. Okay, these little flowers came out nice. Okay, and I'm just pulling them off with my finger. Now you're supposed to use your little spatula that came with the ScanNCut. Okay, so now there's a couple ways we can approach this. We already know that these 2 flourishes are not going to work on this particular side of the mat. So let's not even try to keep them in the same spot. So first of all, move them to another place. A good place to move them is over here, where we know this is recognizing pretty well on this side of the mat. So that could be a factor. But we also want to stick them down a little farther, just for good measure. And then what I'm going to do, I got to turn my camera down so you can see this. What I'm going to do now is use a pencil and sort of also fill in some lines to help it along. So you just get a pencil, and you can erase it later. So you just you want to basically make this look like one big image to the ScanNCut. So wherever there's little gaps, you just sort of enclose it, and then it'll sort of go around, and it will think of these things as one big outline of the image, and it should help. Okay, and I just want the flourishes to sort of be like that anyway. I don't care if it outlines in and out all around the flourishes. I'm just happy to have like sort of a pointy shape there. So I'd be happy with that much. So we'll try it. You know, we're going to see with our pencil trick and see if that works. This works good with, I don't know if you have the Fable Friends stamp set. That's also in our occasions catalog. This little pencil trick worked really good on those images. Also, there's a stamp set called Hey Love. It was a Valentine's set in this catalog, and the pencil trick worked really well on that set. And then, I don't know, let's just make this little stem enclosed in there. So giving you a close up here. Oh, there's one gap, I see a gap. Okay, so I've just closed in the gaps, that's all. And you could even close in this little flower gaps, but I think that one's okay. Now don't erase with this pink eraser. Later you're going to erase with one of these erasers. These are great, these Pentel erasers. I'll have a link in the description later. I don't know how long it takes me to find the links, but I'll be back with the link. Now let's try this one now, the same thing. All right, we're going to just do that same thing in closing the gaps. I'm going to do it a little faster now. And just kind of go around, and we'll see what happens. And if this, still doesn't work, then we either use color recognition mode, or because it kind of makes it, this could look like different shades of gray to the ScanNCut, because it has, there's light and dark regions. So maybe that's what it is, and that might work with the color. And if that still doesn't work, you have to know when to give up, because it's only ink and paper, and you have to know when to give up, and when your time is precious and you could do more crafting, and you don't want to fight all day with the Brother ScanNCut, because it can be nice to you, and it can give you a hard time. So you basically if you're nice to it and you just do what it does best, then it'll be nice to you back. All right, so there we go. Now these two, for some reason that didn't recognize earlier, but I don't see anything wrong with that. So I'm just going to leave that one alone and see if it works because it's in a different part of the mat. Same with that. I mean, I don't really see any place that it's not stamped well or why that one wouldn't recognize. So then back to ScanNCut. I'm going to put my hand there. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to load the mat. So now you're basically cleaning off the screen now. So when you just go back to the home screen, delete all patterns, and you just pretty much load the mat again. Oops, I almost got a flower stuck in the machine. Be careful not to get things stuck in your machine. Actually, you could turn your machine upside down once in a while and shake out all the things that get stuck in there like mine. Okay, so load the mat, scan, direct cut, store it to the machine, start, and we'll see what happens. I'm just tapping it, rubbing it, making sure it stays flat on the mat because the mats are not usually very sticky, so that's why. All right, so let's see what happened. We're going to say OK. You recognize? We say OK. Now it did a great job. Now it even got the ones it didn't get before, and it got the two flourishes we just did. So that's all you need to do is use the pencil trick. So let's work on this one now. We have all this debris because my mat's dirty. So let's not try to ignore all that. Let's instead just select the area you want to cut out. So we're going to select that area, which is, now we got rid of all those little bits that way. We're going to go ahead and add an outline distance of 0.04 again. And remember, we're adding an outline distance to the pencil mark, to the very outer part. We're going to erase that pencil mark, but we still want the outline distance. So we say OK. We want to ignore some objects. We can ignore a few, but I don't want these little flowers to disappear. So maybe just here. I don't even want to ignore them that big. I'd rather, instead of ignoring objects, I'd rather have control over this. I'm going to say OK. I'd rather go into editing mode and get rid of them that way, because then I know which ones I'm getting rid of. I don't want to accidentally get rid of my flowers, see? So edit mode, the little shapes, and you hit the trash can for whatever things you don't want to cut out. Some of the things that I've already cut out were selected. It found the shape of those. So that's what these little remnants are. There's actually nothing up there. That's just paper over here. It selected some of the shapes from before. But I do want those two big flourishes, a few little flowers, that leaf there, but I don't want these extra little, bits that are going to get selected. Another way to scroll through is this way. This is a toggle. This is toggling the selection. So if you hit the arrows, it toggles through all the different objects on the screen. And, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. That one I do want. See, so I'm toggling through, and let's make sure I got them all. Maybe that one, yeah, that was a remnant from before. So we still have a good number of things to cut, so let's go ahead and cut that. Again, we're using Whisper White cardstock. My blade, because my blade holder is really getting old, remember I set it at 4 just right before on the last cut, but it's already gone down beneath 4. So I'm just going to go ahead and set it a little above 4 this time because it's wobbly. The springs are getting weak because you know, crafty friends, how much I use my machine. And I'm only on my second or third blade holder ever, and this is my second machine. So anyway, it needs to have some better springs. Or that's why my blade sort of creeps down and changes blade depth. Okay, I'm going to stop it just so you don't have to wait for 2 minutes or 1 minute. I'll be right back. Okay, it's finished cutting. We're going to say okay. We're going to unload the mat. And I'm done with the ScanNCut. I think we got them all this time. So let's tilt the camera down, see what happened. All right, I'm going to peel this off, the Whisper White. And just by doing that little pencil trick, and still we use black and white recognition mode, we have 100% success rate. So that is awesome. I mean, you should be happy, and you can even use your little punches, and cut out these. I'm not even going to throw this piece of Whisper White away. I'm going to save those little pieces. Okay, so let's peel them off the mat using your handy spatula, right? Do as I say, not as I do. So, of course, you would have your spatula. Let me see if I can find something to use instead of my fingers. You're not really supposed to use your fingers, so let's peel it off the mat with this little, I just have a Cricut spatula. Okay, so like that. And you can also bend the mat a little bit And you're probably sitting there cringing like, no wonder you go through so many mats. All right, I'm just gonna use my fingers. But you could use a spatula. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how I color these, some projects I created with these, and I even have a little giveaway. And I'm only gonna say this right now because I have, for the next 2 people that order, I'm giving away my stamp sets. Yes, boo hiss, I love my stamp sets, but I have one in English and one in French. So the first person that orders, this is May 25th on Saturday. Okay, the first person that orders today, or it can be anytime, maybe I don't get my first order till tomorrow, I will post as a comment to this video the first name of the person who ordered and that you won the English version of the stamp set. I'm going to open it up to show you what condition it's in. And when I say order, just order anything from my store. And here's my store. Order anything you want. You can order any product you want. And you're also going to get my survival kit. Boy, that's a big glare on there, huh? Here, I'll put it on the eraser like that so you can see my website link. All right, so there's my website. So you order, use the host code that's on the website. There's always a host code there. And you'll get my annual catalog, you'll get a survival kit, and you'll get this stamp set in with your survival kit. But if you're thinking, well, I'm already your customer, then you can still order, and I'll just mail this to you. Anyway, see, it's in great shape. So these are cling stamps. I've never even used the stickers. The stickers are here. So you put the stickers on the stamps. And I just cling them to the inside of the case, but you can cling them put the stickers on there. And I wrote R for retired. That's just me knowing that it's retiring in a few days. So that will be yours free, just for placing any order. Okay, and becoming my customer. And if you're already my customer, you can still get this for free. Okay, then the second person that orders between now and whenever, this is May 25th again, you will get the French version, brand new. I got this when I was in Paris. I attended an event and I got this as a prize. And so it's still awesome. You can do everything we just did. You can cut out all these cool things with your Brother ScanNCut. Okay, and you'll get this French version. And if you order first and you want the French version, please email me and be like, I'd rather have the French version. I wrote Wonderful Romance on it. Okay, and it's brand new. See? Anyway, back to what we're doing. Let's do the coloring. So that's my giveaway. I didn't want to announce a giveaway at the beginning because I didn't want, I just want my diehard viewers to be in my giveaway. Some people come, click on the video, they go, oh, I know how to do that, and they leave. And they didn't get a chance to get a prize because I think they know already how to do it. All right, so anyway, first of all, before you start coloring with the blends, here's our blends, you should always erase your marks, because you can't erase them later. Well, you could erase them later, but let's just erase them now. Never use your pink eraser when you're coloring. And you know I just had an eraser. Oh, I was using it as the stand for my website here. All right, so here. So you're gonna erase the pencil marks. And then we're gonna color. I'm not gonna color them all, I'm just gonna color one of the 2. In fact, whoever wins is gonna get the samples I'm gonna show you too. I'm gonna throw them in with the stamp set. You're gonna get a sample of what to do with the stamp set. I have a card, I have a bookmark. Okay, and it's not that I don't love this set and don't want to keep it, it's just that literally I couldn't in my lifetime use all the stamps I have to their best ability. And I think one of you out there might be thinking of a wedding invitation or something and really get a good use of this stamp set. Whereas I could use it a few more times, but I want to focus on my new catalog products. And although I keep some retired things forever, like my coffee set is not going anywhere, the coffee set that's retiring, but this one, I think it's better suited for someone that has a wedding to plan. All right, so there you go. In fact, it's part of a really cool suite called Floral Romance. I better show you that. So in this, I just have the stamp sets, but this thing called Wonderful Romance is part of this Floral Romance. See, that's why I say weddings. It's part of a suite by Stampin Up. And so that whole suite is really nice. And this is all retiring, by the way, by June 3rd. All right, so then you get so the blends. The blends, I always go from dark to light. I chose these colors because of the papers they were going to coordinate with. So I chose Old Olive and Flirty Flamingo because these 2 colors went together. I chose them, the Flirty Flamingo and the Old Olive. And then I also added in, which one did I add in? Old Olive, that's my Old Olive. Old Olive Light, Old Olive, Light Mossy Meadow. Okay, I'm going to show you what the sample is that I'm going to kind of recreate this effect here. And the reason I used an extra one of the greens, so I used the Old Olive and the Mossy Meadow, is because this flower, I didn't want these to clash with the ones in the back. So I take the dark, and I'm going to take the dark marker, and I take the, oh, actually I should use the thin side. Yeah, I'm going to take the thin side. Every one of these has a thin side and a thick side. So I'm going to take the thin side, and I'm just going to go around the outside of the leaves, and I'm going out with the, I'm using the Old Olive. I'm using Old Olive Dark. Okay, as long as you keep these alcohol markers wet, meaning if you blend, it's like don't go doing all the outside ones right now, because if you do, it'll start to dry and it won't blend as much. So the trick is, so you blend. All right, let's get this. I'm taking the light Old Olive now, and I'm blending it with the dark, is all I'm doing. But I'm doing it while it's sort of wet. And it'll when it dries, it blends better. Also, the more times you go over it, the better it blends. And I always like thanking my friend Sally for teaching me about how to use alcohol markers. She actually taught me how to color in little people, but now I've been kind of using the same techniques to color in flowers and things. All right, so that's the leaves, and then you'll just do that again, and again, and again. And then what I did, I mean, I'm going to show you kind of, see how much I need to show you. The Mossy Meadow, what I did is I took the light Mossy Meadow, because I didn't want to use Old Olive again on that leaf there. Okay, so I just used Mossy Meadow to kind of make it a little bit of a contrast on some of the leaves. And if it wasn't that one I did, I mean, no two flowers are going to look the same. I'm just saying that's one way to go about it. I think I used the Mossy Meadow on these ones. I'm going to show you the Flirty Flamingo next. All right, I think I did. Yes, I did. See how I used the Mossy Meadow light to go over these flowers so that it wouldn't clash with the Old Olive in the back. I wanted them not clash, so there'd be a contrast. So then for the Flirty Flamingo, I did the same thing, but this one I just colored solid, but these ones I colored dark around the outside. So you take your little thin, each marker has a thin side and a thick side, and it's better if you sit down, you maybe do this while you're watching TV. You know, I wouldn't, like I'm standing up because I'm filming a video right now, but I normally would never color standing up. Okay, and then I would stick, I like these new holders, by the way. They're called Stampin Storage. They hold my little blends, and I hold all the projects I'm working on. So then I fill in with the light, I fill in the middle. I did an outline in dark, and I fill it in, and then it blends together. And then one of the flowers, it was just too small to blend, so I just colored it in solid. And you could make the insides of them yellow. You could take your Wink of Stella glitter brush and do all kinds of stuff with it. You can make them shine. You could do other things. Okay, and you just keep going. And now this one, I used the light Flirty Flamingo. And I just colored them all. I just colored these little wispies in. And I didn't blend them, I just colored them solid. Okay, so I think I showed you how I colored the whole thing. So erase, color, and then just draw little lines on the bottom part, and you have a cute little bouquet. And so in some of the, I think it was the catalog samples, if not, I saw it somewhere, they tie a little bow. You could tie a little bow around the actual clump of flowers. Okay, so this is your last chance to get this stamp set. It's retiring by June 3rd. So anyway, let me show you my samples. So what I did is I took the paper called Petal. How did I forget the name of it already? Because I'm working on all these catalogs. Perennial Essence. This is Perennial Essence. This stack of designer series paper. And it's really cool because it has cool colors and it has some subtle backgrounds. So this subtle background it's petal pink, the color petal pink. And petal pink goes with Flirty Flamingo and Old Olive. It just goes nicely together. So here are my samples. I'm using this stamp set, Thinking of You, okay, from the one I'm giving away today, or whenever the next person I'm giving away, Wonderful Romance. That's where you get the sentiment from. So I took Thinking of You and I stamped it in Mossy Meadow, okay? So that's why it looks really dark green. And this is a card. I'll give this away. I'll go like this. First person gets this card and this stamp set. The next person gets this bookmark and this stamp set. Okay? So back to this example. So colored Flirty Flamingo, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, all the coordinating colors. Let's see what I put in the inside. Just a plain piece of Whisper White cardstock. So it's a card that you can use for anything. I popped these up with dimensionals. These are those little flowers that came out. Okay, so that's it. Wonderful Romance. And then the bookmark is a new, this is Petal Pink. It's a new ribbon, Petal Pink ribbon that's in our new annual catalog. But this stuff right now is like right now, you can get these. And you can get our blends. All the colors of blends I'm using are available right now. So I hope you liked that example. And I hope you'll give it a try. If you already have this stamp set and you're wondering how to cut it out, I hope you give the pencil trick a try. This is the Paper Chef. Bye for now.